Checky check.
Yeah, you're on.
I was just saying that I'm still doing it now,
important.
just trying to recover from addiction. Like, there was people that don't understand addiction that are very judgmental, and a lot of it was coming from Facebook, and so I bailed on Facebook. Like, I haven't done Facebook in over a year, maybe coming on 2 years now, and I didn't have a cell phone for close to 2 years because I just had to do some self-healing. And whether people didn't understand it or whether they thought they hated me because I was a drug addict for so long, or maybe because I owed them money, like, it was negative energy, and I had to step away from that for a period of time.
Yeah, and that's definitely what I said as well before, is like, it's okay to just step away from a platform entirely if all you're getting is just negative energy from it, Only hang out in spaces where you're going to get positive energy, like here and like other spaces, other mental health spaces.
You're not the only one, written mind.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I'm very big and very goofy. But I'm pretty harmless, I gotta say. I'm pretty harmless.
Sam, I would leave whatever Twitch community, Discord, whatever that is that you're talking about, where you're getting hated on. Just leave. If the mods aren't doing anything, just leave. Bail. It's not for you.
Yeah.
Bail out. Like, your safety and your mental health well-being is more important than any amount of, anything else, really. Just more important than everything. So yeah, Facebook's so toxic and fake. True. My immediate reaction is to be scared of you. I can't totally figure out why. Don't want to be, but knee-jerk reaction. I just made my brain being funky today. I mean, let's be honest.
You get it, right?
Hoss is a straight white male.
Zero khakis in my size. It doesn't fit the iPhone.
You like that song?
I love Bo Burnham.
Fucking
dude.
Bo Burnham's great, man.
God, I love Bo Burnham. Get out your dick-eating gloves.
Immediate levels of trust gained.
Oh my God, I love Bo Burnham, dude.
He's great. It's good shit. Good shit. Dude, Inside was like, I didn't relapse, but I was just like, oof, this is heavy.
I thought it was brilliant.
It was very brilliant.
I really did. Like, I was disappointed for like half a second that it wasn't like the last one where it was just banger song, and blah, blah, blah. And it took just a second. I was like, oh, this is some real shit. Like, I'm into this. Like, I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, for sure, Red Mind. I literally warned people. I was like, listen, it's out.
Yeah.
I'm watching it, but I don't recommend everyone watch it because it could potentially trigger a lot of things.
For sure. But I couldn't respect him more. Like, I thought the dude just put himself out there and it was real as shit. It was very raw.
It was real and raw, and I was like kind of scared because I was just like, has anyone checked on him? Like, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think he's just, I think dude's got issues, and I think he's just owning it.
Yeah.
I think he just like, look, I'm not the only one. I feel that way after I started streaming and talking about addiction. Like, I was like, this sucks, but we're just going to own it, dude.
Hell yeah. Yeah. All-time ATL, not Atlanta. Yeah. Yeah, Sam, I hope you're able to still block out those people in real life and just ignore them, pretend they don't even exist. Just be like, nope, you don't have a bearing on my life anymore. Goodbye. Walk away. Or if you need to like, quote unquote, sit down, shut up for your safety, if it's like teachers or something, or adults, do so, survive, get through it. and you'll be okay. It's temporary, right? And that's very fucked of this person for texting your sister that. But we're moving on to the mental health interview portion of this show. So I'm
Do you think, dude?
I'm gonna cut all this stuff out.
I'm glad to be hanging, and
yeah, I'm happy to have you here.
Invite. I really like your vibe, dude. I like your
Thank
community,
you.
and I think you're doing good stuff. I don't do this very often. I'll be honest. Like
I know that's what you told me beforehand when we talked. You're just like, I don't do this shit. I'm like, we'll get used to it.
I like your. I think you're doing good work, man. And
thank you. I try.
Yeah. I think you're in touch with a different group of people than I am, but I recognize that we have the same goals, and I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just to help other people, make them feel a little bit better, give them a little time to chill out, escape from shitty life situations for a little bit.
Life's tough, dude.
They're loved. Yeah, it is tough. But when you have good friends and fun times, it's nice.
Look, Twitch saved me, man. Like I was at a very I was at a point where it could have gone either way. When everything started shutting down, I had gigs getting canceled, and I was not in the best place. Like I was real fresh with trying to get my shit together and stay off of drugs, and it could have gone either way. And I just put a flag out there and started streaming, and people started saying hey and hanging out, and it made all the difference for me, dude.
That's awesome.
It really did.
We're gonna ask you a little bit more about that later.
Yeah.
But for now, welcome in everyone to Mental Health Monday. How you doing? This is Waba here. I am with HossCaddy, the lovely HossCaddy, who's here to talk about his experiences with substance abuse and his recovery, the journey thus far. He's going to talk about music. He's going to talk about life, love. He's probably going to give you advice on to use the 9-iron and not the wedge on the third hole of the fairway or some shit like that. I don't know. His name is HossCaddy, and I read his bio once, so I know 2 things about him. Anyway. Welcome in, Hoss. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're taking care of yourself. Please introduce your lovely self to our community, to YouTube. Everyone say hi, YouTube.
Hey, friends. Hey, Wabites.
Waba fam.
Thanks.
Wabites.
What is it? Just Waba
We're the Waba fam, yeah.
Thanks for having me in your community, and thanks for trusting me. I'll never forget that first raid. When y'all came in on my channel, I've got the VOD. Like it was a classic moment, dude. I'm a musician. I'm a recovering heroin addict. Pro gamer, probably more than anything, pro gamer. Sarcastic.
Yeah. How many millions have you made from pro gaming?
I'm still in the red, technically, but
okay.
But any day now, like any day, the sponsors I feel like are lining up.
Yeah. Can I get into FaZe Clan?
No, the funniest part about that whole bit, about the pro gamer bit, is I've literally had a computer for a year and a half. Like literally just a year and a half. Like that if I'd have had a computer before then, I'd have pawned it. You know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah, totally, dude.
Just trying to learn how to do all this and everything. Like it's
That's great.
Anyways. So yeah, not a pro gamer, but I do love to play games. And
what's your favorite?
I think probably my community gets a kick out of me being horrible at games more than anything.
What's your favorite game to play?
Minecraft.
Hell yeah.
I've only been playing it for 6 months. Like apparently the game's been out for like a decade, but I got it 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And so where all of you guys were like 9 years ago, that's where my life is right now.
Learning the basics. And plus the game just updated, so now it's super dangerous. So good luck.
Yeah, no, I'm hanging in there.
At least it's not hardcore. So yeah. Yeah. Obviously, as
Are
a pro
you
Minecrafter,
okay?
top
Nice
one.
written, man.
Yeah, Ren, go get some sleeps. Go to beds. Minecraft, yes, the crafting of mines.
Yeah, I mean, I do Minecraft, and I mean, we do really do all sorts of stuff. Like,
Oh yeah.
I got racing games, I got Red Dead, I got Ark, all kind, like I got a Switch, so there's some Mario Kart action in there. I've got a 3-year-old. He really likes the racing stuff, like Wreckfest and Hot Wheels.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Sorry, I forgot to put this on here. There we go. Welcome back, Lularia. We are in mental health Monday interview show time. So all this is going up on YouTube. So please do not say anything that you do not wish to be on YouTube. If you want to talk a mental health event channel, that's perfectly fine. But I hope it went well. So Hoss, tell us about your upbringing, about your childhood. The childhood of Hoss. How was that for you?
Yeah, I gotta tell you, I was so freaking lucky, dude.
Yeah.
Like, very, very lucky. Especially when I consider what I've heard through a lot of my being in recovery. Like, I didn't have the bad childhood that a lot of people have to deal with. Like, I had an incredible childhood. I had the best parents.
Yeah.
My mom was very, very loving, and my dad, he was one in a billion, dude. Like, he was such a good guy, very loving, like, not afraid to tell me he loved me, never had issues with drugs or alcohol. Wow. Like, just a square, straight shooting, funny, lovable dude.
Damn.
And yeah, I was really, really lucky.
Are your parents still alive?
So we lost my dad 2 years ago to Alzheimer's.
Wow. Shit,
he was
dude.
early onset. Yeah, it was rough. And so we dealt with that for a decade.
How old was he?
He was diagnosed when he was 59. And he passed away. Yeah, I know. He passed away when he was 68.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, and I still got my mom. She's pushing 75, I guess, now.
That's great.
Yeah, so, like, it was rough, and it came at a time when I was trying to get my life together, and that definitely did not help. Like, dealing with that trauma. It's rough, man. Like, it
sticks with you for life.
There's nothing you can say. Like, there's just nothing you can say about it. Like, it's really, really awful. But I just have to chalk it up to a couple things. Like, I try to pull positives even out of the worst situation. And the thing I can say about losing my dad to Alzheimer's is it was a 10-year battle. The first 5 years, there was a decline, but he was still pretty much there. The last 5 years, he wasn't there. And so I'm glad that he did not see how fucked up I got. Like, I'm glad he wasn't, like, to see the DUIs and to have to, he just didn't quite understand what was going on. And so he was so proud to have my brother and myself growing up. And I'm glad that he didn't have to go through that heartbreak. I know it would have really hurt him had he really known what was going on. And now the way I look at it is, like, I know that he can see me, and I know that he can hear me when I'm playing music. My dad was real big on music. He loved 60s music, 70s music. That's what I grew up on.
I was about to say, I also grew up on 60s, 70s music.
Yeah.
I'm a 93 kid, so my parents always played like the oldies radio in the car. Yeah. It's great.
I know that he can see, and so that makes my heart smile. Like nothing, nothing can overcome that pain, but just try to make the best out of it because there's nothing I can do about it. Nobody could do anything about it. You just got to eat it and try and move on.
For sure.
So, I graduated high school in 98, graduated college in 02 with a couple music degrees, and immediately 6 months later, I was training to work in a dueling piano bar. And that's what I did for 20 years until COVID hit.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there was ups and downs. Like there was, I started doing dueling pianos in the winter of 2002, and I started doing opiates in 2005.
Oosh.
So around 2007, it had gotten way out of control. And that was a 10-year battle. Like I didn't make it to rehab until 2017.
Damn.
So, like again, trying to bright side stuff. I don't look at that like 13 years lost. Like I try to say, well, you're lucky to be alive.
Yeah.
You're not going to use again. Try to help as many people as you can.
Absolutely.
And just be thankful for every day.
Those are good words to live by, honestly.
You're right. Karma's a big deal for me. Like karma's very real and very prevalent in my life. So I know right and wrong. And when I try to do right, I feel like karma's on my side.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you had a wonderful childhood, all things considered. Like,
yeah,
really, truly a wonderful childhood. And that's like huge because like, yeah, as you said, like most other folks that I know that I've, been into substances before, they usually grew up in a family of alcoholics or of users, or like they're born into it or they're born addicted and stuff like that.
Yeah. I've got a lot of that. A lot of people that is absolutely what they went through. Like just awful things.
Imagine.
So yeah, I didn't get into drugs because of childhood trauma.
Right. I suppose that's the hidden question, right?
Like I just wanted to get fucked up, to be honest with you.
So
I was drinking. I'm not much of a drinker.
Yeah.
And
So your first encounter with drugs at all was in this bar. When was this?
Well, technically, I smoked a little bit of pot in college. I was in the music department. And so there were, like I remember one of the first times I smoked pot, we were doing the old Dark Side of the Moon, Wizard of Oz bit, So like I remember doing that.
I'm almost tempted to make the joke. Haven't we all smoked a little pot in college? Except I haven't.
Yeah, no, I'm happy for you. But so yeah, it wasn't right when I started doing the dueling pianos. When I started in 2002, all those guys were alcoholics. Like all they did was drink. Nobody really smoked pot that worked in the bar I was in Raleigh, North Carolina. They were all drinking.
Shit.
And so I just drank with them, And then it happened where I moved to a different store, a different club in the same company. And I was newly single, and I was on the beach, and there was a lot of cocaine, and there was a girl that I really liked that, did drugs here and there. And I just fell right into it, dude. Like it was nothing. Started with cocaine, kept drinking, doing cocaine, started smoking pot. And then I had one Oxycontin and it was over, dude. Like I was toast. That was my deal.
You just got so hooked so fast.
That was exactly what I was looking for, dude. Like, and I didn't know. I was 24 years old. Like I didn't know any better. I didn't know anything about addiction.
What were you hurting from? I have to ask. I don't know if I
What
have
was
to
I
ask, but
hurting from?
yeah, because I feel in a way. I don't know.
I wasn't hurting from anything. I
Bad
was
question.
hurting from wanting to be with this girl that liked
Yeah.
Oxycontin. Like,
And she just got you into that like that because she's like, aha, I'm cute
no,
and
no,
shit, and
no,
you like
no,
me. No?
no, no.
How'd
It
it go?
wasn't like that. No, she
Hmm.
was a good girl. Like, I
Oh,
know that happens.
yeah.
And I think at the time she was young. She was too young to know the difference between somebody like me and
Hmm.
somebody that could do something once or twice and be all right.
Do you
Um,
mean to say like you have an addictive personality, or
yeah, yeah.
Sky? Why do you have my towel wrapped around you, and why are you dragging it, bruh? Are you good?
Bruh.
My cat is dumb. I just like all of a sudden saw my towel at the corner of my eye dragging across the floor. I'm like, what the fuck? Is my towel possessed? No, my cat was inside it for some reason. Anyway, sorry.
You're good.
So addictive personality.
Yeah. Um, I wanted to do what she was doing.
Hmm.
She actually gave an effort to keep me away from it. And I was in my early to mid 20s
It
and
hooked you.
I just wanted to fucking party. And I
Yeah.
just didn't give a thought to the fact that, well, if this, like addiction just did not even enter. I was just like, oh, we can try that. Like, let's try this. It just did not,
Yeah.
it wasn't part of the vocabulary back then. People were dying from overdoses, but not like they are now. Like, it wasn't national news.
Right. No one
Uh,
really talked about it. It was just like, oh well, that's so and so, and
the first
you
thing I
know,
did, the first pill I did was an Oxycontin. I
wow,
snorted the shit out of it. I
wow,
didn't
dude,
know any better. Like,
bro.
it was just, I don't know,
If I
dude.
could shake your younger self, I'd be like, what are you doing?
Are you kidding me? Like,
I'm
I
like, are
would
you
have,
kidding me? That's like,
you know what,
oh,
though? Like,
yeah,
I've had that thought plenty of times, and
sure,
I've
for
been through
sure,
a lot of shit and a lot of pain. But as it stands,
yeah,
everything that happened in a certain order. And
absolutely,
I sit here today, I'm still here, and I have my son. And if anything would have changed, if anything would have been different,
right.
then I wouldn't have what I have right now. So I
That's true.
don't spend a lot of time
No,
fretting over like lost time or lost
for sure,
money
for
or
sure.
lost
I
whatever.
don't
Like,
think it's important to necessarily. I think
there's
when we
nothing I
when
can do
we
about it now.
right, exactly, when you rehash the past, it can't serve a purpose unless you're trying to process stuff what happened.
Try to count what I have
Precisely.
instead of what I lost. You know,
Absolutely. And still being here is an achievement in of itself as well. Absolutely. Never mind all the other things, all the other cool shit that you're doing right now. Like just being here, just being alive, here to tell your story means a
no
lot.
doubt. Yeah, thanks.
It means a lot to a
Yeah.
lot of people, I'm sure. You know.
I've been happy with the feedback for sure.
Mm-hmm. So, man, what a fucking hell of a way to get into drugs. But yeah, that shit will hook you right in. I mean, you talk to any
Now,
other.
the other thing I
Yeah.
do have to say about this girl is she did take time. I hate to say it like this, but she did take time to teach me the right way to do it. And she was big time anti needles. So I feel like at this point I was going to get into it one way or another. And if anything, I'm lucky that I had somebody that actually cared about me. At least show me how to not, or at least show me how to not do it the wrong way, I guess. I don't know.
The wrong
I
way
feel
being
like
like it
if
would
I'd
kill you,
hadn't
or
had somebody like her, I probably would have taken it on my own and probably died of an overdose.
I understand. Yeah. So she kind
Yeah.
of paced you in that way.
Yeah. I really feel like I would have gotten into it whether that girl existed or not. Like I have an addiction personality. Like
Right.
so.
Well, I'm glad that she was in your life then and kept you from overdosing. You know.
Well, I ended up having 2 overdoses. It was long after
Oh my gosh.
I was out of her life, but
Well, after.
that's what I mean.
Right.
Like for a long time, when it was me and her, the worst I did was snort things. After her and I fell apart and I moved, that's when I got into needles.
How long did
And
that
that's
relationship
when
last then?
5 years, 4 or 5 years. We were
so-
engaged.
so
We ended up
basically-
having to call off a wedding and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Everything really went to shit. You know,
Yeah.
it just snowballs like it. Just the way it goes. Like we were in love. We were both good people and we were both addicts. And we held in there as long as we could. Like and when I look back now, like I'm surprised we lasted as long as we did. I feel like we really loved each other because it gets bad, you know.
So
but
your entire 20s, basically, some of this woman, you're engaged, and just
we got
partying
engaged.
it up the whole time.
We started dating when I was 24.
So mid to late 20s.
Yeah, from basically 24 to 29. This girl and I were together, living together.
Can I ask a topical question then?
Yeah.
Where'd you get the money for the drugs?
Playing piano.
Really?
We both worked in the piano bar. She was a bartender. I was a piano player. Yeah, it's good money. And a lot of it's cash. And a lot of the drugs are right there in the same room you're playing the piano in.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
And they just let you do it while you're playing a set?
As long as they're making money, dude.
Yeah.
Like those owners knew every time I got off stage, I went to the handicap bathroom because you could lock that. I would lock it, be in there for 20 minutes. They knew I was different when I came back out, but they were making straight money. Nobody said shit to me, dude.
Right. They don't care. It's all under the table, right?
Nobody said a damn thing.
Yeah. They're like, whatever. Can you still play the piano? Yeah. All right. Great.
I remember one of the head bartender saying to me one night, he was like, dude, I mean, it wasn't just me, like it was all of us. There was like 5 piano players. We were all fucked up. He was like, dude, y'all get off stage. You go in the bathroom, you do key bumps until you have to go back on stage. You go up there, make a fool out of yourselves.
Yeah.
The place makes money. Nobody says shit. And then we all just go home and come back and do it tomorrow. He's like, I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
welcome
really,
to the bar business, dude. Like,
unique situation, but like, goddamn. They kind of enabled
obviously
you in a way, you
it's
know?
not these people's first bar because bars don't make money all the time, dude.
No. But they really enabled you, you know?
It kind of was. It kind of was.
Very
I mean,
enabling.
we were going to the bar next door and buying cocaine.
Yeah, I was about to say, like,
literally coming back. They knew exactly what we were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the bars don't talk to the
and you know
cops.
what? I don't blame them. It's not like I blame them for my addiction. I don't blame them for not saying anything.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying
that's
it's still
business.
enabled.
Like
that's the business there.
That's why I don't miss it. That's why I don't miss that.
I wouldn't
and
miss
if
it
I
either.
can keep doing Twitch, I won't go back to it.
Yeah, honestly.
You know?
Yeah. And that sounds like a bar that's doing some very shady shit, really, you know, when you think about it.
That bar doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, I bet.
That's the way it goes for sure.
I hope that's not the case in bars nowadays, but you know, you never know.
I've seen a lot of both, and honestly, I see more people not being that way than I see being that way.
Yeah.
But it always
depends on
exists, dude. Money's
it can always
money.
exist. Yeah, right. Exactly. Money's money.
You know,
you get the dealers to pay you a little bit under the table.
Our
They take a
owner's
cut.
trying to get his kids braces too, like
right.
You know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm sure there's backroom deals and all that good shit. So what you gonna do? So 5, 6 years, engaged this woman playing the piano at a bar, getting effectively free coke, free pills, free oxycodone,
Yeah.
sniff sniff,
Yeah.
have a good time,
A lot of
partying it the
sniffing.
fuck up.
Yep.
What happened? How'd the relationship fall apart?
So when you're in addiction long enough, especially with opiates,
Mhm.
The longer you're in it, the harder you got to go just
Yep.
to be normal. And so it reaches a point. When I first started, there was a couple years where I was rolling, dude. Like I was making money. I had built up some money. And so I could basically do whatever I wanted. Like if I did too much opiates or Xanax the night before, I could roll into work an hour early, buy some coke, be right before a gig started. And then you do that and you do that and you do that and you just keep buying for however you're feeling in that moment. And eventually, depending on your income and financial situation, eventually it gets to where you're breaking even. And then at some point you dip into the red. And then from then on, it's playing catch up every time, dude. Like I did it for years. But when me and that girl first started dating, I hadn't been doing shit. And so I had some money. I'd been playing the piano for a couple years. And then we started doing pills. And then, it started evening out a little bit. And then it got to the point where it was check to check. And then it got to the point where I was borrowing money.
Mm.
And then it got to the point where people wouldn't front me anymore and they wouldn't let me borrow money and they stopped answering my calls. And then what are you going to do? Like
Steal.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it got to the point where we weren't able to pay the rent and
drugs became more important than rent.
Her mom saw what was going on and kind of helped push me out the door and like kind of got her in with some help, and I don't mean to spell it bad. Like I literally talked to her today. Like she is one of my best friends to this day. I don't have any regrets and anything like that. But there was a time in in the late like around 2008, 2009, like it got real shitty. Like it was sad. So that's why it fell apart. We'd gotten engaged. Like we really did love each other. We were both good people. And we had great intentions, but you can't, when you go that hard, like you can't stay on top of it. You just can't. And
yeah. So it just kind of broke up naturally because like it reached that point where you couldn't.
Yeah, even if we really wanted to try, like we were just we were done, dude. We were out of money. We were out of resources. Like when you can't get people to front you and you can't get people to help you with money, like what do you do? Right. So just had to bail. Yeah.
So then how was the come down? Did you try to get sober at that point?
I did try to get sober. No, thanks for the follow.
It was just on your face. It's in the middle of your face. Oh
yeah, no worries. I'd rather have the follow. Yeah.
Yeah, go follow Hoss, everyone.
There was an attempt to get sober, and I almost did. I had to pack up all my shit, and I had to move back to the East Coast.
Right.
This was in Little Rock, Arkansas. I had to move back to the East Coast.
Oh, jeez. Wow.
And And I'd gotten a job at a community college for a couple semesters, and I really tried to get my shit together, but I just couldn't. Like, I didn't know enough about recovery. I didn't know anything about 12-step or Narcotics Anonymous. I didn't really want to know. I just wanted
Right.
to maintain, really, but you just can't do that. So I maybe was sober for a year, but when I fell back into it, I was twice as bad as I was before, because people I was running around with were shooting up.
What were you doing in that year?
I was teaching at the community college adjunct. I was teaching like intro to computers while I was taking Cisco networking classes. And I was going to try to do like a networking thing, get a networking certification and try to get a real job, because all I'd done up to that point was play piano for like a decade. But it's not what I wanted to do. It looked good on paper, but I was miserable. And so I just started doing gigs again. And started doing drugs, and then got into needles, and then it was a blur.
Yeah.
I
imagine, especially if you went twice as hard with needles, like going from
I didn't really do heroin at all until when I fell back after that short stint at the community college. Yeah, that's when I started doing heroin.
Wow.
Yeah. That's when shit really just went way downhill, like quick.
I imagine so.
Yeah.
Because like that shit will kill you.
Yeah.
That sickness will kill you. Yeah.
If you're addictive, like I am, like you just can't turn it off.
Yeah. So those years were pretty much a blur to you.
Yeah, I mean, I remember most things, but when I look back now, it's like I remember 2004, I remember 2008, I remember 2012, and then I remember going to rehab in 2017. Like, that's what stands out. Like, there was 5 years in there where I was using needles, and I remember a lot of that. And if I needed to testify about something, I'm sure I could.
Sure.
But looking at the overall picture, it was just like step, blur. Like, just
yeah.
It was just going and trying to find more shit to put in my needle and then in my arm. Yep.
Your whole life revolved around it.
Everything.
Yeah. How'd you get the money? Was it, again, just like playing in the bars?
Yep.
Yeah. It's wild.
Yep.
And this is in fucking North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
That's the wild part to me.
I used to think that too. I used to think to myself, like, this little beach town, like I'm on the extreme East Coast.
Right.
Like, when I was in Little Rock, like I-35 and I-40 would run right through Little Rock. Like, it was not that hard to find drugs. Like, drugs would come from Dallas.
Sure.
Drugs would come up from New Orleans. Drugs would come from Memphis. Drugs would come down from St. Louis. Like, it was not hard to find drugs. If you're in the middle of the country, like, it's not that hard to find drugs. But I was like over an hour from an interstate on the East Coast. It don't matter, dude. It's everywhere. But I remember thinking that when I moved back, like, no way there's this many people doing pills in this little town, but there are.
Yeah,
absolutely. Way worse now.
Absolutely. I mean, even the fucking small town I'm from, I know people were on some shit. There's a lot of drugs going around everywhere. Like, they got from like the more populated cities or something. Yep. Half the people I knew from high school were smoking pot, wasting their lives away.
Yeah.
It's depressing. Like there's nothing to do
Yeah,
in that
yeah.
town. People are bored. You know.
I feel lucky that I didn't get into it that early. I could have, and I never did smoke pot until I was
Yeah.
well into college.
Yeah, I mean, it still changes your brain, but definitely having a very solid beginning helps.
Yeah.
So then, let's see here. You went to rehab 2017 is what you said?
Yeah.
Wow.
Actually, it was right about this time. I went in June and got out in mid-July. I went mid-June and got out in mid-July 2017.
And that did it.
I wouldn't phrase it like that. I wouldn't say that did it. But I will say that made all the difference in the world.
Right. What was rehab like then?
So here's the thing. I'd gotten real bad, dude.
Right.
Like I'd gotten bad. I was shooting up. I was pawning my friends' sound equipment so I could go and buy drugs. This is what I would do. My best friend in the whole world. We were doing a gig every Wednesday night at a bar that was only about 30 minutes from my house, which with doing pianos is extremely rare, but he would leave his equipment at the club. And every week I would drive to that club, get his sound equipment, drive to a pawn shop, pawn it, take the money, go buy drugs, sell enough of the drugs to get the stuff back out of pawn, keep the rest for me, go back to the pawn shop, get the stuff out, Jake, take it back to the club. I did that every week.
Shit.
Every week for months. Never told him. The reason he found out that I was doing it is because one Wednesday I had done that, and before I got back, I got arrested. And I spent the night in jail. He drove to the gig, saw that he had zero equipment, found out that I had pawned it, got arrested. Like, it was bad, dude. It got bad. And so
it's quite the setup, though, honestly.
One of those Wednesday nights, I had been at that gig. I had been drinking. I'd been doing Xanax. Got off work at 2 a.m. Drove over an hour to get tar heroin. This was in May of 2017, at the end of May.
Yeah.
Shot up in a Burger King parking lot and then had an overdose while I was driving away. I was about 2 miles away from that Burger King when it hit me. I had the overdose, rolled my car, ended up in a cornfield, and got arrested. It was my 4th DUI. And I had no choice. Like, I had zero choice. They were going to let me go to rehab. And my court-appointed attorney was like, if you do this, it's really going to help. Like, you really don't have much of a choice. Right. And I think he was pretty much like, and honestly, outside of legal, like, you need to go to fucking rehab, dude. Like, do you know what you just did? So I did. And I was scared as shit. Yeah. Like, I was scared. I was completely dope sick. Like, I'd been on a run.
Absolutely.
I'd been on a tear. But I would never say that's what did it, but that's what got me to where I am right now, because that was the first time I was really in recovery. Like, it was the first time I'd been introduced to the 12 steps. Yeah. I didn't have anywhere else to go, dude. Like, I was down to like 170 pounds. Like, I'm like 240 right now. Like, I'm a big dude.
Super small.
Like, I was bad off, dude.
How tall are you?
6'6".
Oh my fucking god, 176.6?
Yeah, no. I'm 70 pounds heavier than that right now.
That sounds emaciated to me, honestly.
I was sick.
Yeah, dude. Fuck, dude.
Holy so God. I had to do meetings. It was every single day, every day. There were small groups, there was big groups, there was speaker meetings, there was 12, you know, like
So
12
rehab was
step
12
work.
step.
Yeah, it was narcotics and well, I mean, it was both. It was basically a hospital,
Yeah, I
and
was
there
gonna
was a
say.
group for alcohol and there was a group for narcotics.
Right.
Sometimes we'd be in the same room. Most of the time, we kind of did our own thing, but it was 28 straight days of that. A week into it, I finally got my appetite back. I started making friends. They had a piano there, so you
That's
know,
awesome.
like it went well.
Right.
And then the thing that did the most for me was the minute I got out, I got into an Oxford house. Instead of moving back home,
What is that?
Oxford house is like it's a halfway house, but it's more like a 3/4 house. Like it's a little more strict than a halfway house.
Sure.
And that structure and living with other addicts that provided accountability and support.
Hell yeah.
I mean, that did a lot for me too. Yeah. Yeah. That was a clutch decision. Like, I was really advised to not go back home and to try the Oxford house. And I didn't really want to, but again, I didn't really have anywhere to go. So I was like, it was like $100 a week. It wasn't even a couple weeks. I was able to find a job playing piano at a Methodist church.
That's awesome.
And then a couple weeks after that, I found a job working the pro shop at a golf course.
There you go.
And I was off, dude. I was doing my meetings. I was working. It didn't last, you know, because I relapsed a few times. But that foundation that I got from the rehab is definitely, it was enough that when I had trouble a year ago, I started doing Zoom meetings. I knew what to expect. I knew what I was doing, and I knew what was going on. And I was like, you need to be around people that understand and can help support you. So yeah, I would have never known about recovery and 12 step without having gone to that rehab, for sure.
So between recovery 12 step, the structure that a house provided you, you know, that kind of really built the foundation for your long-term recovery. That's what it sounds like.
You got to live it. Like, you have to, you can't have like one foot in.
For sure. Yeah, you got to be in the fucking soup. You got to hold yourself responsible and have other people hold you responsible, hold you to it. And I fucking love that, because that's what we're about here too, you know. Holding ourselves responsible, you know.
Yeah.
It's very important. It's part of recovery. So is, you know, relapse. It's part of recovery. The relapses, when they happen, did you beat yourself up about it, or did you have what was your mentality? Because that's usually like the default that I see a lot of people go to.
Yeah, so I did beat myself up, and it was heartbreaking. And I hesitate to say that relapse is part of recovery. I do say that. But it worries me to say that because I don't want to green light somebody.
Right. I mean, for sure, you don't want to enable someone to think like, oh, yes, I should use because relapse is a part of recovery. You know, I think I always like to encourage people to like utilize other resources first.
When I look back on that, I think to myself, I learned something from each time I relapsed. But at the same time, what I think even stronger is,
hey,
I'm lucky to be alive.
Yeah, absolutely.
After each one of those relapses, because I just have so many people that did not wake up from a relapse. Absolutely. Like, a lot. You know, you can't ever say when it's going to be your time. And some people, it was their first time relapsing and they're not here. And some people, it was their 10th and they're not here. But
Hmm.
I don't know. It's rough out there, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, you know your little stay healthy bot?
Mm-hmm.
You think we could do like a super quick bathroom break?
Yeah, no problem. Take a piss break.
Yeah, thanks.
Pee break. All right, pee break, everyone. Self-care time. Go get a drink of water. Go get a snack. Frankie's home as well, so I might take a quick little BRB as well. So we'll do a little BRB here. If I can find my... That's not my BRB screen. All right.
Whew. Thanks, dude. I needed that. Cool. I got one of these, like, it's an empty Pedialyte bottle, and I try to fill it up at least 5 times a day and drink the whole thing. And so the older I get, the more it plays into my schedule.
It's kind of funny.
I know, right?
Oh my god. Hi. Okay, we're back now.
All right.
Hello, everyone. All right, so we're back here with Hoss talking on his journey. So yeah, where were we at? Rehab. Oh, I know. Relapses.
Yeah.
Yeah. So relapse is a part of recovery, but we don't use that to enable people to rely on relapses to deal with strong emotions or deal with things in life.
Relapse is a part of recovery. Like,
Absolutely.
and I just know, just for me personally,
Mm-hmm.
there's been things I've heard said in meetings or wherever from other addicts, and it almost felt like, well, it almost gives you a feeling like, well, it's okay.
Mm.
It's okay.
Like it's an excuse.
Yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to really put into words, but I just know that I've heard things before and been like, well, they did it. Like I feel like a relapse right now.
Right. It's okay. Can I try to
Very
explain it?
dangerous game.
I agree. I agree. Can I try to
That's
explain it
all.
though?
Yeah,
Because
dude.
this is from my POV of like knowing how to treat recovery but like in a way that is a part of the addiction mentality and what the drug wants you to think. You know what I mean? Of just like making
Oh yeah.
excuses for yourself, giving your relieving responsibility from yourself, from your actions. You know, giving yourself that out, say so to speak. And it's like, well, it's just one. And well,
Right.
oh, it's just, a second one, it's fine. I can stop anytime, right? It's that same mentality.
Yeah.
So, while it is a true statement that relapse is a part of recovery, it's important that, personal responsibility is still a thing no matter what. And, you have a responsibility to yourself, your body, and to others around you, you know, to do your best to utilize your other coping skills.
You can't let
And,
a relapse derail you, but
yeah,
you
that is
have
also
to
true.
be fully conscious of the fact that a relapse can kill you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like it might not be the end of the world, but it might. I know a few people that it was the end of the world. Like, like facts are facts. Like it's scary.
Absolutely. It can be very scary. For you, so the original question was, did you beat yourself up, or how did you feel about your relapses?
Um I did beat myself up.
Mm-hmm.
It was more it was I knew better, and I knew that I would regret it. I knew I couldn't afford it. But sometimes when enough shitty life would stack up, you just kind of lose the ability to really care what happens to you.
Yeah.
And even though I knew I was damaging myself and I was making steps backwards, I just pain is an awful motivator, dude. Like, I just I obviously I'm very lucky, but there were times when I would be faced with a decision and I made the wrong one every time. Like every time, dude. Uh and it's when you wake up from doing stuff like that, it's just so depressing. No
Yeah.
matter how much progress you'd made before that, like it's just depressing. So,
Can be. Yeah. Absolutely.
yeah, sucks.
Does. So sobriety. how is being sober for you? How's been recovery in that, just even that first year?
The first year was rough. And I had help. Like, I went to counselors and I went to therapy a lot. It made, like, and this is post rehab. So I'd gone to rehab. I worked the program. I lived in a recovery house. And then I started doing well and I started working. I had 2 jobs, and one thing that fell off was my meeting attendance. Like, I just wasn't able to go to as many meetings. And sometimes I would have good days and sometimes I would have bad days. And you know how work is. Like, if you're trying to work, like, it don't give a shit whether you're having a good morning or a bad morning.
No,
like,
they don't care.
And enough of those started to stack up where I was having days that I was teetering. And then the most dangerous thing for a recovering addict is to have a pocket full of money, like,
yeah, true.
a pocket full of money and some doubt in your mind. Like, it's going to make for a shitty week.
Absolutely.
So I just started slipping, dude. Like, I started coping. I started coping again the way I did. My dad was getting worse, like life stress, back taxes, shitty credit, like no license. Life piles up. And when at that point, I'd been coping with life by numbing it with drugs. And so when it would get to be too much, I would always go back to what I knew. And that's bury it with drugs, and try not to stress over it. And the sad part is it's only a fix for that day, because when you wake up, if you wake up, like, all those problems are still going to be there just a day later. Like,
absolutely.
So yeah, I can look back at that now and be thankful again, that I made it through that, and I can see where I steered wrong. But again, it's just pure dumb luck that I didn't get arrested again, or, because I was driving illegally at that point. I didn't care. Like, if somebody had drugs 20 miles away from me, like, I would find a car and I'd go get it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah, it got sad, man. Like, that's why I say, when, as heartbreaking as it was to lose my dad early, like, I'm really glad he didn't have to see all that. Like, that would have killed him for sure.
So when would you say that you officially became totally sober? So first year, rough. Second year?
So I had my last overdose in November of 2019, the first week of November in 2019. I'd had a really bad few days, and I got some heroin and did more than I knew was okay to do, and I woke up in a hospital. The night that I spent a night in the hospital, the next afternoon, they let me out. That night, My 11-month-old son walked for the first time unassisted.
Whoa.
Walked to me. And I caught him in my hands. And when I think back on that moment, I've told my chat this several times. When I think back on that moment, I can still see him smiling, but I also still see the hospital bracelet on my left wrist.
Ooh.
Like, I died. Like, they had a team of paramedics, and then they had a second team, and I don't even know if they were really going to put the lights on to take me to the hospital. I'm pretty sure they thought I was done.
Yeah.
They Narcaned the shit out of me.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, I made it from the ambulance to the hospital. I woke up that night, and like I said, the next night my son walked, and it really hit me, dude. Like, it really hit me
Shit, dude.
that I
brush with death.
I just about bailed on my son. Like, my son would have never remembered me. Like, the people that he was with, like, they would not have represented me in a fair way. And that's all he would have known about me, dude. Just that I was a drug addict and I died because I'm sure in his mind I didn't love him enough to get my shit together.
Mm-hmm.
And it scared me so bad that was the last time I did heroin. The last time that I used was 2 nights before my dad passed away.
Mm-hmm.
My mom came and picked me up, or she had called me. My dad had been moved to a hospice house. It was, like, it was right near the end. Like, they put him in a hospice house, and I was just really, really having a hard time with that. And my mom was going to come pick me up that night, and so that afternoon I couldn't deal with it, and I called up one of my guys that honestly I don't even know if that guy's still alive. He was a cancer patient and had Oxycontin, and I called that guy and went and got Oxycontins and shot up before my mom came and got me, and that was 2 days before my dad died.
Wow.
And so that was the last time. Like, that was January of 2020, like a couple months before COVID.
Yeah, like literally right before COVID, just like
right. Yep. And so that's what I mean. Like I'd had the overdose, and I don't think that the heroin I bought had fentanyl in it. I think I just did too much. I knew better, and I did too much. And then the time right before my dad died was a couple Oxycontins. But that was it. Like, I've had a couple joints and I've had a couple beers in the last 2.5 years. But I made a decision. You know what it was? Like, I'd had 2 overdoses.
Right.
And I don't know if you want to call him God. I call my higher power Fred. I don't think it really matters, but I was like, I've made this dude call 2 strikes on me. Yeah. And you just don't get 3 strikes.
No, or you're out.
Like, I cannot bail on my kid. I can't have my mom bury me.
Yeah. She already buried your dad.
Right. So I was just like, man, you got a choice to make. And 2 months after that is when I found out about Twitch. 6 months after that is when I started streaming, because I was able to get a 10-year-old laptop.
Right.
And I just started trying to learn how to use OBS.
Sure.
And now here we are, dude. Like, literally, here we are now. Like, what can you say? Like, I wake up every day and I say, thank you for today. I'm going to do my best. Let's go. And
it's a beautiful thing, really. It's a beautiful thing when you can wake up and just be alive. Never mind anything else.
It's nice to have that feeling.
Yeah.
Like, as sad as it was to know that I died and am lucky to be here, Like that, like you said, relapse is part of recovery. Like that night probably did more for my recovery.
In a weird way, yeah.
In a sad, weird way. You're right.
Yeah.
Like that fear and that remorse.
Yeah.
But also the relief that I was lucky enough to wake up from that. All that thrown in together has kind of been enough. And the support of my chat, like
Absolutely.
hearing other people struggle, hearing other people have success, like all of that helps.
100%. 100% helps. I mean, it's just like a really poignant fucking like poetic moment in your life of like,
yeah,
you see your son, but you see the medical bracelets. It's like shit.
I'll never forget that, dude.
Yeah.
I can see it right now as if it was
core fucking memory
2 minutes ago. Yeah.
So where'd your son come from? We never got that.
I
You said 11-month son, but this was during like year 1 of like trying to be sober, and that didn't go too well.
So one of the big rules in recovery is don't get into a relationship for the first year.
Sure.
But I don't have a very easy time listening to people. And I was very, very horny coming out of rehab. Like just being an opiate addict, like you're not very sexually active. Like that's just the way it goes.
Sure.
And so I hooked up with this very liberal alcoholic.
Sure.
That I met in rehab, and she got pregnant without telling me. So that's how I have my son. Yeah.
Wild.
Pretty wild. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Dude's a fucking miracle. So
yeah.
What are you going to do?
There you go. It happens. It can happen.
No, it can happen. Like there's damaged people in recovery. And I understand that now, but at the time I didn't want to hear it. And so that's now I have a 3.5-year-old.
Wow. I think your life is blessed by them, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So now,
but just to be honest, just to be honest with you, that's why I have a child.
Yeah, no, I wanted the facts.
Yeah.
So then that's how you just got into Twitch, is that you found connection, pretty much, and like.
So my best friend in the whole world, which I'll put his name if you want to tag it and give him a shout out.
Do you know Cheesehead1515, by the way?
I don't.
Oh, okay.
I don't, but welcome in.
They just randomly said do a backflip.
I do know Roman Warrior.
Yeah, I figured you may know Roman Warrior.
Yeah.
But I thought I recognized.
Do a backflip. Yeah. No. I'll backflip into recovery.
Hell yeah.
But so Human Juke 81 is the friend that I used to pawn his equipment.
Oh my god.
We've been friends since 2004. I met him right before I met the girl that I got engaged to. We were all at the same bar, and it was a different time. Like we were all in our 20s, and he's honestly one of the best people I've ever met, and one of the dearest friends, and somebody that definitely got fed up with my shit, but never gave up on me, never bailed on me completely. Like there was times when he spent time away from me just because I'm sure he'd had enough, but he never totally gave up on me. He always kept trying to help me, and I'm sure it was painful for him, but I finally got clean. Like I said, my dad passed away. And me and him were still doing like weddings and stuff together. The weekend that everything got shut down, me and Human Juke, his name's Danny, we had 3 gigs lined up that weekend. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It all got canceled.
Wow.
He started doing Facebook streams like a week or 2 later because we didn't know how long stuff was going to be shut down. And it was maybe a month after that, a friend of ours that's also in doing pianos from Charlotte was like, yo, you need to get on Twitch. Like, forget this Facebook. Like, Twitch. He had never heard of Twitch. I had certainly never heard of Twitch. And it was on. He was like, all right, I'll figure this out. And I'll be damned if he didn't. He showed me how to do it, helped me get the equipment to start.
Mm-hmm.
And it was real bare bones when I first started. Like, it was a laptop using a laptop camera, like it was rough. But he helped me get the 50 followers to make affiliate. And he helped me with raids like the first 6 months I was on. And then I finally, last September, I got this new computer. Took me 5 more months. I was able to get a camera. And this is where we are now. Like, I don't know, dude. It all happened like COVID and everything. It all just happened so fast. I really haven't even had time to process it. Like it just,
Damn.
I don't even know if this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right.
I just know that I don't know. It just kind of came up out of nowhere. And now, like, this is my life now. Like, I don't know how to say it other than that. Like, it's really kind of amazing.
I mean,
like, it's
honestly,
daunting to think about the logistics of it. Like, I was dead. And then there was a pandemic. And now me and you are having an interview, both having 2,200 followers. Like, what the hell happened, dude?
Do we both? Really? That's wild.
I think so, yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Follower count is shitty metric. IMO,
yeah,
but
no,
it's funny metric.
It is and it isn't.
Yeah.
I think when you start getting around 2, like, I think that's a big deal.
Yeah.
I know it took me 6 months.
Think so.
It took me 6 months to get 500.
Yeah.
And then it took me a year to add another 1,500. So, I mean, like,
the growth potential is definitely there.
It don't come overnight, but it definitely snowballs if you find a groove.
It does snowball if you find a groove, find a niche.
I can tell with you, like, you've totally got a niche. Like, you've got a community. Like,
absolutely. Yeah,
I love it.
I've been rolling pretty well, actually. We've been growing overall, and I've said that, and people are excited to help us grow, which is helping everything, because people are like, yeah, let's share it around, let's tell my friends, and friends tell friends, etc., so forth, Yeah,
you're a good dude.
It's good shit. Thank you. I'm not a very good man, but I'm a good dude.
No, I think so. I think you are. I know what you're saying, but I think you are.
I'm just being cheeky. Don't mind me. I'm just being cheeky. Don't mind me. But yeah, I've had fun. I'll have fun with you, Hoss, honestly.
No, you're good peeps. I like you a lot, Waba.
I like you a lot, Hoss.
You're a good dude, and you have you have a really good heart, man. Like,
sweet of you. I like
this is a shit world, you know. Like,
absolutely.
I think about that when I see people that are just, maybe they're not perfect, but they're just trying to do good by themselves and by the people around them. Like, you gotta give props to that, because there's just too many people that are doing the opposite in this world.
Yeah, there's a lot of shitbags out there, and I'm just like, I want to combat that.
Yeah,
just a little bit, just a lot of it.
Like, however much energy you have, like, if you can just try to be on the other side of that, it can't hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to spread good in the world and spread self-care and mindfulness and wellness knowledge, because it's important. It's important to everyone, even if you don't think so. you're wrong. It does affect you. Our mental health affects everyone, you know. And these things are important. They might be basic, but they're still important, you know.
Yep.
And I'm really proud of you for still being here, Hoss, honestly.
Thanks, Waba.
After
It means a lot to
hearing
me to
everything.
like that me and you were able to meet and make
Yes,
friends,
it's fucking awesome, dude.
and now we're doing this. Like, it means the world to me.
It's the world to me that you agreed. I was just like, I always so this is a weird thing. Like I've been getting better about this, but sometimes I see people like on a platform, like on like, you know what I mean, like above me in some way, shape, or form, and so I get scared sometimes about reaching out, you know, because I see you as like this big, huge, strong personality, and I love that about you, and that's what attracted me to you, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
It's all the personality and the titties, but you know the personality.
Partly titties, mostly personality. Personality titties.
Personality titties, yes, exactly, precisely. Um, you know, and I love that energy, and I just wanted to like be able to vibe with you and fucking get to know the real you, get to know the deep you. And fuck, man, I found out, and I'm so happy I did find out. I feel connected to you in a way,
Me
you
too.
know?
Me too,
Just
dude.
like, shit, man. You've been through some crap, and I'm here for you.
Love it.
And you know what? We're gonna keep holding you responsible. Because that's what true...
That's what friends do.
Yeah, that's what friends do. Exactly. Precisely.
Yep.
All right. You said you were gonna do a stream at 10? Yeah?
Yeah. I think I'm gonna splash some water on my face and
You do that.
double check my OBS. Probably
a good idea.
probably flip it on. I know, right?
Flip through
Especially
switches,
after
change a few
taking
things
like
around.
3 days off, you know, like
Right.
when you come back from a couple days, you're like, better check all that.
years.
It feels like it.
It can. Do you? So how often do you stream normally?
I try to do 4 nights a week.
Yeah, I think
Sometimes
that's
it's 3, sometimes it's 5.
yeah.
But I try to at least do Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday.
I think that's healthy because
Yeah.
I stream 4 days a week and I do a lot, you know.
Fucking look, man, kids are the worst for streaming. Yeah. It's really hemming up my stream schedule. No. All right, but
oh my god.
Yeah, I try to knock out 4. And you know what? Like 2 weeks ago, I almost like I had just run myself down, dude.
Yeah.
I didn't come close to having a nervous breakdown, but I definitely was like, yo, I don't know if I can do this anymore. And it was just me being exhausted.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I actually just looked at Twitch tracker real quick because I was trying to look at my like follow growth over the last, 2 years I've been doing this.
Yeah.
And it didn't show me that. But it does show you like your bar graph of how many hours streamed to how many average views you have. And I just noticed that I've streamed literally somehow, some way, 40 hours less these past 2 months than I have in months previous. And honestly, a lot of that I attribute to the fact that like I cut myself off early sometimes because I'm just like, you know what, I don't have the energy for this right now, so I'm just gonna go. Part of it is the heat, man. But like it's not hurting
forcing
me.
It's not healthy.
Yeah, forcing's not healthy, and
yeah,
in this heat it's definitely not healthy.
Right.
So it's important to take care of yourselves, even streamers. You take care of yourselves, all right?
Especially,
I remind you of that every day.
Hell yeah, Waba.
Because you're out here, you're performing, you're doing a lot for yourself.
Trying to give out some spirit, you know, like some positive karma. Hell yeah, dude.
Passing out the spoons. Wait, no, I meant that in a mental energy way. Not
like what?
Oh my god!
You want a spoon?
Hey, you want a spoon?
I mean, yeah.
Oh my goodness! Spoons, like mental energy spoons. That's what spoons are.
Right.
Theory. But yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Loved it. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. Do you have any resources, any hope, any last words
Oh,
for
you
anyone
know
out
what?
there?
The
Yeah.
one thing I was gonna say,
Please.
I love that you give out the suicide hotline number.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's also a substance abuse number, and I don't have it in front of me. Oh, look at you, dude. Are you serious right now? Do you already have that? You gotta spell it right.
I don't know if I do or not. I
What
might.
was that? What was that command? I used to put both of them. That's actually one thing that I'm going to start doing more. I kind of got away. I was doing mental health, like recovery streams once or twice a week in the afternoons. And I kind of got away from that just because it's so hot out here. But I've had some feedback that people are missing that. So I think I'm going to start doing that again. But that was one thing I put always was the substance abuse hotline and the suicide hotline.
Oh,
Those
yeah.
people they're doing good work. Like work that I'm not so sure that I could do.
I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot
It's
to do.
taxing, dude.
It is very
Yeah.
taxing to be here.
Yeah, emotionally, yeah.
You know, and that's why it's super important for me to take care of myself, you know?
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I'm proud of you.
You seem pretty in touch. Like I'm glad that you do what you do, and I'm glad that you have your experiences, but I'm glad that you haven't been through some of the shit that I've been through, you know, like
I'm also glad I haven't been through that shit because, like, good lord, me and substances. Oh man, I made a pledge to myself when I was very young because my dad told me that he used to be an alcoholic in college, and he had teachers and his sister tell him, like, you know, if you continue down this path, you're gonna go to Vietnam and you're gonna die. And that helped him sober up real quick.
Yeah.
Because he was scared as shit of going to war and dying. And I said to myself, you know what? My dad has an addictive personality. I'm just gonna decide not to drink. Like, I don't see any use in drinking. I can probably just find a sober drink that'll taste the same if for any like fruity whatevers.
No,
And now
that's beautiful.
I detest the smell of alcohol by itself. So that being said, I have hung out in clubs before just for like socialization because drunk people are funny sometimes, you know. Especially the drunk gays. I go to all the gay clubs. It's great.
Oh, I love it, dude. Well, I guess I'm gonna get ready to do my thing.
Do your thing, man.
Get my cheeseburgers ready.
Hell yeah.
Big night.
Have fun. All right.
Thanks for having me, Waba. Love you, friend.
Thanks for being on. Love you too, man.
All right.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
HossCaddy, everyone.
Come catch Waba live